Hey guys, before we get into this video, if sorry for the tipping video being out a bit later than it should be. That's not really anything, but yeah, I just check my community posts if you want to know when those are up. Cause yeah, I just had a lot to do this week, so yeah, that's why it's out later. What's up, guys? Today we will be previewing round 8 of the 2024 NRL season, or round 9, sorry. Let's get right into it. South Sydney take on Penrith at a Core Stadium on Thursday night, which is also the day I'm recording this, well, recording my speech at least. So team list. Now I've seen a few changes here. Isaiah Tass is on the wing, Michael Cheekham's in the centres, Jai Arrow's at prop, Keon Clementongi's in the second row. Sean Keppie's come onto the bench. Dane Laurie drops out for Penrith. Tallis Duncan's the 18th man. There's a lot of changes since the first team list. But let's just go. South had a terrible week. They had good patches against Melbourne, but yeah, they weren't good enough. And Penrith, who did they play? Oh, they beat the Cowboys. They hung on. They weren't too impressive. The Cowboys had most of the field position, I don't know. But Penrith just did what they do best, and that's defend well. I could honestly see the Rabbitohs have a slight chance in this one, I'd say. As usually teams have a terrible week leading up to a game. They normally perform pretty well. And I think Penrith are going to win 38-16. I think South will have some good patches like last week, but Penrith will be too good and win 38-16. First game on the Friday sees the Raiders travel to 4 Pines Park to take on the Sea Eagles. The Raiders are coming off a disappointing loss, 40-0. They were never in that game, really. Manly, in the first half they looked a bit flat, but in that second half they ran away with the game and won 32-18. Your Daly Cherry Evans getting off his suspension. Holomoli Olakau'atu's out and Corey Waddell's back in this. Corey Waddell comes into the side. Albert Hopewadi's the fullback. Yeah, this one, if it was before the Sharks game, I think it would be almost game of the round, but because it's not, I'm gonna have to go Manly 28-14. The second game sees the Roosters travel up to Suncorp Stadium to take on the Broncos. Yeah, both of these teams really just dominated the team they played last week. The Roosters, they put 60 on the Dragons, and the Broncos, unfortunately for me at least, dominated the Tigers. The first half was an arm wrestle, but yeah, the Broncos were a much better team in the end. Obviously, it's a bit of, I wouldn't say a rivalry, but like a bit of, flair after the last time these two met, with obviously the Spencer Leniu incident. He's back next week. That's not good to think about. Ezra Mam and Selwyn Copper return for the Broncos, and I'm pretty sure the rest is the same. Victor Radley and Tippiner are on the extended bench for the Roosters, so maybe they'll come in. I think in this one, you just got to go the home side, and the home side is the Broncos. I think they'll win 20-16. If it was at Allianz, I think I tipped the Roosters. The first game, I'm going to have a more extensive, that's probably not the right word. I'm going to have a more, in-depth preview of this game, probably out on the Friday, which is tomorrow. The Tigers coming off a pretty disappointing loss. Bulldogs coming off a pretty close win against the bye. Stafford Tower is on the extended bench for the Tigers, which he could be back this week. And I think the Tigers kind of need him back at this point. I think, in short, I think the Tigers are going to win this. I think teams that come off the bye, then they usually start off pretty slowly. And I think the Tigers can use that. And I think the Tigers are going to win. Very unbiased opinion here. And I think they're going to win comfortably as well. 34-18. Come on, Tigers. The second game on the Saturday sees the Titans take on the Storm at Seabus Super Stadium. The Titans, they're coming off their first win. They were really good after the first 10 minutes, and yeah, they did well. And the Storm, they smashed the Rabbitohs on Anzac Day. There was like a 10-minute patch where Souths got back into the game, and then Melbourne just dominated. Last year, the Titans beat the Storm in this fixture. It was a high-scoring game as well, 38-34. Yeah, I think everyone's gonna be saying or tipping the Storm in this one. But I think the Titans will actually be pretty competitive, and I think the Storm are gonna win in another high-scoring game. I think they're going to win 34-22. Yeah, I just think that the Titans will be competitive, but Storm win 34-22. The last game on the Saturday sees the Cowboys take on the Dolphins in Townsville. Well, the Cowboys, they played at this time slot last week against Penrith, and yeah, last week they weren't too bad. The Cowboys, they definitely, it's hard enough beating Penrith. It doesn't make it's not much easier when you're down by 20 points early in the second half, and yeah, they almost won. I mean, they scored 3 tries in 12 minutes. They had a lot of the field position. They probably should have won, to be fair. And the Dolphins, well, they were very disappointing last week. They just couldn't find that attack that they had in Darwin until the last 3 minutes of the game. So, yeah, really not good for the Dolphins. Tom Chester and Jack Guzewski are out. Chester, he had that injury against Penrith last week. And Jagewski's out because Helam Lukey is back for the Cowboys. Kenny Bromwich drops out of the side for the Dolphins. Felice Kafusi returns, as do a few players on the Dolphins side on the extended bench. I think you just got to go home team. Cowboys, they smashed them at Suncorp. Things are a lot different now. The Dolphins are a better team, I'd say. Cowboys, I don't know. I wouldn't say they've regressed, but they're not. I don't think there's. I don't know what to say about the Cowboys, but I think it's in Townsville. I know the Dolphins beat them there last year, but yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to get the job done. I think they'll get it done actually convincingly. I think 34-16. I think they'll just run away with it. I think the Dolphins will be in it for most of it, but the Cowboys run away. First game on the Sunday sees the Warriors travel to Newcastle to take on the Knights. Yeah, this one is tough. The Warriors, their last 2 weeks have been, they're very average, losing to 2, what some would say, average sides. And the Knights, well, they deserved that win. They were a much better team against the Dolphins. And I think, the Knights, I think maybe David Armstrong, maybe Ponga being injured isn't that bad. I don't think there's any changes. Bunty Afoa and Kurt Capel are back for the Warriors. But the Warriors haven't won in Newcastle. I mean, they've I don't know. I know they don't play there often, but they haven't won at Newcastle since I think 2019. So yeah, I think this one is it's gonna be. It's a hard one to tip. It's probably the hardest game to tip for the round, to be fair. But I think the Knights are going to win. And I think, yeah, the Warriors just been so poor the last few weeks. The Knights are going to win 24 to 16. The last game, it could honestly be the most boring game. The Sharks play the Dragons at PointsBet Stadium. One team got smashed and one team smashed another. The Sharks they were perfect against the Raiders. Nico Hines, he just had a perfect game. And the Dragons, yeah, they just, they sucked. After they scored that try, Jaden Seward try, they just fell asleep. They got absolutely demolished. They just looked so out of it after that. And the Sharks, they could win this game. I don't think that most Sully is out for the Dragons because for obvious reasons. Tuapoloty's back. Zach Lomax moves back into the centres. Yeah, one team was superb and the other one was awful. So that's probably going to equal a decently big win. So the Sharks are going to win 36 to 18. The Eels have the bye. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.